What are the biggest introvert struggles? Everyone has struggles, but there are some that are just particular to introverts, myself included. And I wanted to put together a show that hit on some of those main ones. So these are the top 5 introvert struggles, in my opinion. On my first day of kindergarten, when my mom called me to get me out, I ran and hid under the bed. I really didn't want anything to do with the clamor of elementary school when I had the comfort of my own home that I was used to. It was quiet, it was safe, and I knew what to expect. Fortunately, my mom let me stay for an extra year. But that's kind of a silly example. The point is, there's some things that living in an extroverted world bring to the table that bring challenges for us introverts just due to the way we're wired. So I'd like to go through 5 of the top struggles for you here today. And the first one that I'd like to share with you is that people underestimate you. If you're an introvert, people are just naturally going to underestimate you. When I was in high school, I knew a youth pastor who actually was a really cool guy. I liked him a lot. But one thing that was frustrating for me was he was an extrovert, so he esteemed extrovert leaders, and he would often share about them and tell us about them as examples. And for a long time, I thought there was something wrong with me because I was an introvert and I was wired differently. I thought I needed to be fixed. But lo and behold, I found out later on that my introversion actually has its own set of unique gifts, and so does yours. That's the point. Your introversion is actually an asset, but unfortunately, people look at you and think that there's something that needs to be fixed. And a big reason for that is that extroverts put their greatest gifts on display for the world to see because they're naturally wanting to interact with other people or to take action in ways that people can see. But introverts, while we can do those things, we keep our greatest strengths on the inside where others can't see them. So people will often remark, hey, wow, I didn't realize there was so much to so-and-so until I really got to know her or I really got to know him. So that's always going to be a struggle and one that unfortunately we'll have to live with. A second struggle that almost every introvert wrestles with is that you dislike large parties and group gatherings, but you feel obligated to go. There's just social expectations that you're going to be part of group events. It's part of being, a part of a community. And I've always disliked going to large gatherings. Now I really enjoy being with friends and family members and even coworkers in small settings, one-on-one or in a small group. In fact, that's totally the way my work is. I really enjoy the people there. They're awesome. But whenever we have a staff picnic on a certain day, I do everything I can to try to get out of it. And I feel bad saying this because, again, they're awesome people, but I really don't want to go and spend time there because I know I'm going to have to get into a lot of small talk and have conversations that aren't going anywhere. And it's hard to get away because you feel like you have to talk to everyone. At least I do. I don't know if that's the case for you. So that is another common introvert struggle. A third common introvert struggle is that you have a hard time thinking when others are talking. And I've shared about this before, but our culture is moving more and more toward open office structure. So if you have a workplace where you're surrounded by people that are talking all the time, this must be really frustrating. If you can all get away or telecommute some of the days a week, that's great. Grab a pair of headphones. But it's nearly impossible to get into the zone and to really focus when other people are talking all around you and doing so nonstop. So that is definitely a struggle that you've probably wrestled with before. A fourth struggle is that you hate talking on the phone. I actually have a podcast just about this that you can go and check out, and I'll share a link to that below if you're watching the video, or I'll put that in the show notes as well. But you probably have always hated talking on the phone. And introverts, for one thing, we read a lot of body language, and when you take that part away, not only do we need the normal processing time that's longer than what extroverts need, but now you've taken away one of the crutches that we lean on. So it's even more difficult to have a conversation. So when at all possible, I let phone calls go to voicemail, and I listen to the voicemail to see if I even need to return them at all. And sometimes I'll send an email or a text message back because that's short and I can control it, and I know that I'm not going to get drained in the conversation. Another strategy that's really been helpful in the past is connecting my phone to Google Voice, which is a great service that will transcribe any messages that I get so I can just quickly gloss over them and figure out if anything's important. And a final struggle that almost every introvert has is that people think that there's something wrong with you because you need alone time. That one of the key differences between introverts and extroverts is that introverts just need alone time in order to recharge, but extroverts recharge, they'll still lose energy, but they mainly recharge when they're with other people, they're out taking action. So our extroverted culture may look at you and say, hey, what's wrong with so-and-so? Why doesn't she come, hang out with us? Or why is she always staying at home? Why does she have to have all this time to herself? But the reality is that we need downtime to recharge. We need that alone time. And there really is nothing wrong with that. But the world is always going to have a hard time getting your head around that. Well, I hope that maybe you could relate to some of these struggles. These were the top 5 that I thought of. I'm curious, what are your struggles, your top 5 struggles as an introvert, or even that you think other introverts struggle with? I'd love to hear about them. If you leave your thoughts in the comments, or you can head over to ispeakpeople.com, drop me a message there on one of the posts, or you can shoot me an email at bo_miller@ispeakpeople.com. And if you are looking for a way to make your life even better as an introvert, I'd encourage you to head over to ispeakpeople.com, because I've got a free download that you can grab called How to Be a Happy Introvert. And it goes through 5 points that, through my reading, research, and analysis, I've identified happy introverts share in common. So go over there, download that sheet. That'll help you to deal with these struggles a little bit better. Thanks for watching and listening.